Chag Sameach, everyone. Chag Sameach, you ask, Rabbi, what festival is it today? Well, actually, today is a minor festival. It's a festival known as the 15th of Av. It's a date that has become famous in the land of Israel as the Chag HaAhava, the festival of love, almost as if they refer to it as the Jewish Valentine's Day. Why is that? We're told in the Talmud Masechet Tani that Rav Shimon ben Gamliel said that the best days in the Jewish calendar were the 15th of Av and Yom Kippur. Why were these days selected? And to illustrate the greatness of these days, the Jewish single men and women would go out into the vineyards and they would dance and they would select their spouses for life. What is the significance of this? And why pick a date like Yom Kippur? Everyone's in the services in the shul and suddenly they're running out to a singles party. What is going on over here? The Talmud actually relates that there are 7 different things that occurred on the 15th of Av. For example, the Jews that were killed in the city of Betar were finally allowed to be brought to burial on this day. The great King Hoshea was allowed to remove all the sentries that were preventing the Jews from making that pilgrimage journey to the Jewish Yerushalayim, to the temple, to bring their various sacrifices on the 3 Chagim. They were removed, and people had access again to the Bet HaMikdash. But more significantly, the Talmud tells us that when the Jews came back from the land of Israel with their negative spies, they went ahead and they cried out to Hashem and they said, we can't do this. They cried out to the people. Hashem punished them. And for 40 years, that generation died in the desert. How did they die in the desert? So we're told that Moshe would declare, Jews, go dig your graves. Every 9th of Av on Tisha B'Av, the Jewish people would dig their graves. And the men would get into their graves. Some of them would stay there forever. Some of them would come out. This took place over 40 years. In the 40th year, they all dug their graves on the 9th of Av, and they all woke up in the morning. They thought they got the date wrong. They did this again and again and again until they hit the 15th of Av and they saw the new moon. And when they saw the new moon, they understood that Hashem had forgiven them and that the punishment was over. It's the date that the Jewish people in the desert stopped dying. Now that's all great and all fine. But what is the significance of getting married on this day? And what is the significance of the Talmud by the 3 different groups going into the vineyards and dancing? So I heard 25 years ago the most beautiful idea from my rabbi, Rabbi Netanel Rand in Migdash Melech in Israel. He suggested the following. There are 2 punishments in the Jewish world from which we still reel to this very moment in time. We're still affected from them. 2 of the worst things that the Jewish people did. Number 1 was the terrible sin of the spies coming back and blaspheming the land of Israel. And the other was the terrible sin that the Jewish people did collectively, the men specifically, when they came down the mountain and Moshe saw the sight of the Jewish people dancing around the golden calf. Those 2 dates, we suffer them from that very, very moment in history to this very day. But that date specifically, the date when the Jewish people said negative things about the Jewish land, and the date when they celebrated around a golden idol, were dates that really represented a separation between us and Hashem. A distinction that understood that really we are no longer connected to the creator of the world. So what happened? On the 15th of Av, we suddenly understood that we were no longer being punished, that Hashem wanted to rebuild the relationship with us. On Yom Kippur, where we were given that second chance, when the second tablets came down, we understood that Hashem said, Salachti kidvarecha. That word reverberated across the world and echoed across the world. I forgive you. You have a new chance to build an opportunity with a relationship with me. We also, every week on Friday night, we sing the words, Yasis alayich Elohayich, Kimsos Chatan al Kala. That the relationship between the Jewish people and God himself is almost like the relationship between a bride and a groom. We, the Jewish people, are the Kala, the bride. Hashem himself, he is the groom. And therefore on this day, the 15th of Av, and on Yom Kippur, which represents dates when the Jewish people were invited to rebuild their relationship with their Creator, to rebuild that connection with, so to speak, our husband in Shamayim in heaven, to contain that, to bring together that analogy of the Jewish people marrying Hashem, so to speak. What better day is there to actually go ahead and select your spouse? Because this very day is imbued with that energy of building relationships. As we move from the 15th of Av towards Yom Kippur, as we move into the holiday season now, let us take this opportunity to think about what it means to rebuild relationships, not only with Hashem, but also with our friends, with our families, and with our widest communities as well. Chag Sameach.